This is our 5th day on our Camino journey. We decided to stay 2 nights in Puente La Reina. When we planned our trip, we thought, oh, well, we knew we wanted to take a few rest days here and there so that we could make it a very comfortable, easy journey. And so we thought we would do a nice and early. So this is only after the 4th day, we decided to take an extra day off. In retrospect, I don't think it's necessary to stop so early, at least for rest. It's a cute little town. We enjoyed our time here. We had work to do, so it wasn't a problem for us to sit down and catch up. And we do have a blister among us, and so we are letting that heal for a day too. Our day was quiet. We stayed again at the Albergue Puente. Again, our room was $46 for the night for a double room with a shared bath. We ate groceries all day, so it was a cheap day for us food-wise. We bought some pastries and some yogurts and bananas and real simple food, but a really nice day. Anything else? Oh, I wanted to say hello to Amanda and Zamira. They are a fantastic mother and 17-year-old daughter pair who are hiking. We met them at dinner our first night in Roncesvalles. We were their table mates, and we had a fantastic conversation then. And we just happened to stay with them last night. They were in the room right across from us. So we saw them again. They're now a day ahead of us, which is a little sad because we'd love to run into them again. So hopefully we will catch up at some point. Anyway, shout out to them, and Buen Camino.
So today I thought I'd take a minute and talk about water and how much you're going to want to carry with you. This is one of those things we spent a fair amount of time thinking about before we came. We've done a lot of hiking before. We know how important it is to stay hydrated. And I'm sorry, I'm going through some puddles. To make sure you have enough water with you so that you don't run into any problems while you're out on the trail in the middle of nowhere. So bringing water with you is important, but there are some different schools of thought of how much water you need to bring. So before we left, we considered bringing a big bladder in our backpack with a little straw that comes out, and they're super fun to use on big long hikes. We used that when we hiked the Grand Canyon rim to rim. But for this hike, I would say that is overkill. You don't need to carry that much weight. And that's really what the issue. It's not a bad idea to have plenty of water with you, but that water isn't light. Like, it weighs a considerable amount, and you want to make sure you're not just overloading your pack for no reason. And so what we found is that it's pretty easy to get water along the way. You don't need to carry that much with you because you're going to be able to replenish as you hike throughout the day. So we've talked to other people. Some people do even less than this, but we are carrying, David has a 1 liter plastic bottle, and I have a bottle that's 1 liter and a quarter, just a little bit bigger. And we have not had any issues with that being enough. Really, we probably could have a little bit less on most days, because the reality is you can get drinks all along the way. If you wanted just to buy drinks, you can do that. A lot of people are stopping for coffee. They're stopping. There's lots of like fresh squeezed orange juice along the way. So if you're stopping for breakfast and second breakfast and lunch, you know, you're probably going to be able to get drinks as you go. We've seen, you know, little water bottles on sale, even in the cafes, they're like 50 cents. So it's not hard to get water. There are also fountains. They're like public wells, but they're in almost every little town has them. And so as you pass through, you just have to keep your eye out. Now, there are a couple of things you have to pay attention to. Is that some of the wells have drinkable water and some don't. And so you have to pay attention. There often will be signs, and it's in Spanish, but you can figure it out. It says this water is not potable. It is not drinkable. It's not cleaned. I've seen some different language around it, but it just means that the water is untreated, and that's probably not something you want to drink. And then other places will say potable water. I'm sure this is not universal. I'm sure there are exceptions, but kind of a rule of thumb we've been following is that it seems like if the water is free flowing, it's just like a fountain that's on, that's probably not going to be drinking water. But if it's got some kind of knob that you push, it's like, you know, when you go to the bathrooms and you push the button on the sink and then water comes out for a while and then it turns off. And my guess is that they do that to preserve the clean drinking water, right? We have seen some where we walked up to the fountain and it was a free flowing fountain and we saw other people ahead of us filling up their water bottles. So we went over to it and then there was a big sign that said not potable. We're like, uh-oh. But then we walked around the other side of the fountain and on the other side was a drinking fountain. So just filling our water bottles as we go. Like I said, he's got 1 liter, I've got 1.25 liters. That has been more than enough. I'm a big water drinker. I like drinking a lot, especially if I'm going to sit down and eat a meal. Like I can drink 1 liter of water if I'm going to eat a sandwich or something. And so I like having lots of water, and we've had no issues keeping enough. Buen Camino. We've had no issues being able to find enough water to keep ourselves hydrated and being totally fine until we get to the next town. So I have talked to other people who only bring a 1/2 liter bottle with them and they find that to be enough. I don't think that would be enough for me. So you kind of have to decide, you know, what your normal drinking patterns are, but don't worry about it. You do not need a 3-liter bladder in your backpack. That's just going to be overwhelming. And then when you do get into a fountain, it's going to be hard to pull out of your bag and refill and just be unpleasant. Very unpleasant. Just bring a water bottle with you. You're going to be able to fill as you go, and you're going to be able to stay hydrated because it is important to stay hydrated. Hope that tip helps. Buen Camino.